We are recording.
We're live. Should we do we? So no intro then. We're just kind of going
well,
with
this
it?
is now the intro. What's up, everybody? It's George and Hunter here, and we just had an idea for this podcast maybe 10 minutes ago, and here's the first episode. Hunter, why don't you tell the fine folks what this is all about?
Okay, so this podcast series of indeterminate length is going to be documenting me and George's creation of a either tabletop RPG, war game, or board game of some manner. And we literally have no idea what we're doing. We have no idea.
Oh, that's true too.
Yeah, it's also kind of true. But we have no idea what we're making. So this will literally be starting with us trying to come up with the idea, which may take several episodes.
Now, Hunter, what do you think the odds are that this ends and crashes and burns within an episode?
High chance.
High chance.
But I would like to say that if we did go with the podcast idea of like doing a fun, like us researching a fun topic and telling the other person about it, mine would be that fat gray cat that's in all the Facebook emojis. Its name is Pusheen. So I just like
really?
Yeah, it has a name.
Well, there's a fun fact for you too. Those of you who listen to our old podcast, there's your fun fact for the week. All right.
All right.
Hunter, what are we making, man?
Well, first of all, I'd like to know why you don't have like 1-inch margins on this document. This
I don't
is
know.
a travesty that you created. Make a fucking war game on creating a proper text document.
I need the page set up. All right, I'll get it back to 1.0 inch for the boomer we have here. Right,
and Laura font. I don't even know what that's going to
Laura's the
like.
best font. I won't even hear you bullshit on that.
All right. So should we start with like the microscope, like black and white list, or?
I mean, well, I don't even know what the genre is like.
Metaphysical, a metaphysical war game.
Okay. Hunter, you want to do us a favor here, and the folks at home won't be able to see this. Will you just like pull up a list of like? Is there a way you can find like just random adjectives that might help us get somewhere? You know, like medieval or ancient or magical or scientific or you know what I mean, or criminal.
Random adjective generator.
Yeah, let's see if we like. Maybe that'll just help us. I'll write them down as I say them.
Okay. You shouldn't put this one, but the first one is nonchalant.
I mean, I'll put it. I'll
try and pick the ones that make sense. So icky, messy, cloistered, puzzling, attractive, sloppy, macho, and vivacious.
Okay, so you know what that honestly seems like right now is like
it sounds like an edgy high schooler, like an edgy like male teen high schooler right here.
Well, I was gonna say it seems like some stupid
puzzling.
like dating simulator where like you have like a personality trait, like you're the sloppy one or whatever, and it says who you like or something.
Oh my god, like a swipe right or left, like. Oh my god, like it's a board game where you create a profile.
Yeah. It also seems like some like blurst attribute like list for like a D&D game.
Oh god, yeah, I would want to make it. I literally can only think of like this would be like a high school tabletop RPG if you're gonna I literally can't think of a war game to create around this.
No.
I actually
like the word vivacious here. That kind of has something going, like how lively you are.
Sure.
I could see that being. I don't.
Wait,
we don't know what we're making yet, but
I have an idea. Why don't we? Here, okay, I got a great idea here. George is gonna love this. So we're gonna have a list that says. Wait, how do you make columns again?
Let me do it.
I want 3 columns.
The easiest way, honestly, is to do tables in Google Google Drive. Tables are the best way to do it, so I'll just do that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because it gets weird columns.
We should say we should say temp adjectives, and then we have idea, idea. Wait, how does this be like? Idea, possibly. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I'm just typing.
With adjective. And then we have like great idea.
All right, so explain.
Okay.
Help me understand what's because it's not entirely apparent.
Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put I'm gonna keep cycling adjectives, and right now, so like one idea would be like dating profile board game.
Okay,
And we could put like messy / like whatever. Like I don't even know if there was really a good adjective. We'll just like I think that's like we literally we don't need to keep an adjective, right, for that. We know.
I'm with you. Yeah. Okay, so like a dating profile board game. Okay.
And then we'll just do this, and then when we get when we figure out enough that like one that we think is like, oh, that's a good idea. And then what's good about this too is that if we start making the game, we can always come back to this. Too.
Yeah, we'll leave this. All right. Let's get like okay. Wait, hold on. Before we move on, are there any that we just like are stupid? We don't want.
No, we're gonna delete them all, right? Like
okay.
Like,
I just meant to keep it less cluttered. But okay, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, unless we can think of like.
No, we'll leave them all for now. That's a good idea. And then I'm just gonna make a new row for the second generation. And we can pull from all.
Okay, you're thinking about this. I like that. You're thinking differently than I am. But okay. I like that too. So we're not like okay.
Yeah.
So
no, leave it. It's all good so far. I think we're all good. All right. Let's get another 10.
Okay. This is great. Breakable, handsome, rapid, reminiscent, stormy, sulky, clear, damaged, actually absorbing.
Absorbing was the last one?
Oh, yeah, like a sponge.
Okay, again, I'm just gonna say it. This is a dating simulator.
I'm very breakable. Oh my god, that would be so much fun. Like you have to you're given a certain amount of adjectives or now it's almost like Mad Libby, and you have to make a profile that's appealing or something. It's almost like Cards Against Humanity, but with
and you want the most people to be to swipe. Oh, it'd be kind of interesting. This could actually be a game. Yeah, literally like Cards Against Humanity. You have the judge, and you have to assemble. Like you said, 5 different adjectives. But also there should be some combinations of nouns. So maybe you can combine the cards handsome and face, and your character would have a handsome face. Or maybe your soul, like a breakable soul or a breakable heart could be one, or And you could try and do weird ones reminiscent eyes. What does that even mean? And you'd have to and it's like a Tinder game where then the judge has to see, okay, so this person has a handsome face and reminiscent eyes, whatever that means. This person has a breakable heart and a sulky complexion. Random adjectives and nouns that you would put together to make the person.
Well, and you could take. Are you saying? Because I was also thinking so you played Snake Oil. I think it was very short.
I played that one.
Group. But in Snake Oil, the judge actually draws a card that says what they are. So you could almost have the person, the judge draws a pre-built dating profile. You'd have a list of them. And everyone has to make a profile that appeals to that dating. And then you could you could make a bunch of stereotypes or something.
Well, no, you know what you could do? You wouldn't even have to have the pre-built one. The judge builds their person first.
Yeah, okay.
Says,
that
could
be
me. Or this is my and we call the game matchmaker. Because the judge makes a person or a dating profile, and then everybody else has to make the best match for that person with the cards that they have available.
Oh, is matchmaker? I feel
and then that also takes out any weird implications that you would be dating the person that you're playing the game with, even though that wouldn't be a huge issue for that might be a little bit weird, I guess. So it would instead be, I'm just the matchmaker. It's very
we make the most socially uncomfortable game where it's you have to pitch yourself.
I'm trying to remove any shadow of that idea. So you're just matching 2 profiles together.
I feel the only problem with matchmaker is it doesn't. It has more of the all I can think of is Fiddler on the Roof or something. You need almost of a more
yeah, we can find different names.
Modern day. I'm sure there's a play on words with matchmaker and like I don't know, maybe
Yeah, I get you. Love
Um,
connection, the spark.
All right, do we want to like keep rolling with this one, or do we want to like keep trying to
Let's
make
do one more set of adjectives, right? And
Well, but we haven't made another game with this set, right?
that's true. Yeah. Should we try and like push our brains to think it? Again, we might be able to, even if this idea goes nowhere, it might
Yeah.
improve our first idea. Okay, so audience at home, we're putting this matchmaker idea on the back burner for now. We're going to try and think of a new one.
Yeah.
Totally new idea, and then we'll see where we go from there. But
I
that's
almost,
a good one. Good first.
I almost
idea.
want to like. Maybe this shouldn't. Let's get rid of let me do random words.
Okay,
word
yeah.
generator.
Okay,
because
so I'll
then
call
it's
this,
like
call them temporary words.
yeah. And why don't you just delete that second set of adjectives, and let's do this like let's try to do this a few more times and just give it a shot.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So, number of words 10. Word type all. Oh, wow, it's kind of. Who would have thought that there's just a random word generator? Like, I mean, it's so obvious that like it would have existed, but like, I wonder what this is even used for. Like,
it literally for this, we are the reason.
Oh my god! Okay,
right,
here I got.
let's
Hopefully
get some
these
words.
don't come in as looking really weird. Oh, they did. Okay, here I'll read them to you then.
Yep.
Jail, formula, demonstration, liability, mercy, anxiety, publish, remind, tie, and opera.
Tie as in what you wear around your
Yeah,
neck.
yes, exactly. Or I mean, they're both spelled the same
Yeah,
way, right?
that's true. Okay,
So
I
I don't know
have
about
something
you,
cooking,
but
but you go first.
yeah. So I felt like until we got to like the last like 2 words, essentially, where it started to turn to like a like a dinner simulator or something, or I was feeling almost like mad scientist-y, like Saw vibes, kind of, right? Like jail,
I literally had the same
formula,
thought, yeah.
liability, mercy, anxiety. It's like
Yeah.
But like, what's a good? So like maybe like the theme would be like mad scientist. Oh my god, everyone can see how bad I spell. Slash saw. So what would be like a fun? Could this be a war game?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Could you have a mad? I don't. Maybe it would be stupid though.
That's like really stretched. I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, you could argue that like I don't think you could do the Saw theme, but I think you could do like some sort of. What if it was like a war game that was like Ape Escapey or something, where it's like
what is Ape Escape?
I think that's a. I think that's. Let me look up Ape Escape again. I want to make sure I'm like referencing the right. Isn't that where you're in like a? Oh god, this is not what I was thinking it was. I was playing a game. I got this on a Steam, like some sort of Steam pack, and it was like. It's like, is it? It's like it's some sort of monkey themed. It's like they play this like weird music in the background. But anyway, basically,
I've never even heard of this. What you're talking about.
Yeah. So anyone who's listening who like actually knew what Ape Escape was, don't use that as a reference point for what I have to say. It would basically be like one person plays as the scientists and the other person plays as like the lab subjects, and it's like it has to be like a tactical game or something. Like this could be really stupid,
that,
but
like the quote prisoners are trying to escape the lab and the scientist is trying to like experiment on them. Is that?
Yeah, like I mean, obviously this would have to be like a war game in the sense of like a squad based, like XCOM war game, which is some would argue is not a war game.
It
but
almost seems like it's like Mansions of Madness kind of vibe too.
Right, which at that point we're basically almost at an RPG. So I feel like this is leading more towards an RPG, but I almost don't. Yeah, but how would you like have an RPG that's just themed around?
Yeah, that'd be a little bit strange.
Like the Saw RPG or something.
Yeah, no, I like the mad scientist vibe though.
I think you could make a board game out of this. Like that's kind of what I was saving it for last. I feel like that's the most sensible approach to this.
Almost where like you're a mad scientist and like you'd be like trying to build the most diabolical or maybe most useful or most like Rube Goldberg-esque machine.
Oh my god, it's like Mousetrap, but for like it's like adult Mousetrap.
Okay, we need to kill this idea. It sounds stupid.
Okay, why don't we just do another set of adjectives? Wait, you had an idea too, didn't you? You said you had an idea?
Mine was so very similar to yours that we would have gotten to the same point, I think.
All right.
Yeah. Could we do anything with like opera and almost the second half of these words is like totally different than the first half.
Yeah. Anxiety publish. Wait, so it's like you're a you're like an opera, like a stage director, right? It would kind of be like
you have to like put the show together before opening night.
Oh my god, you could make it like some weird ass like not even like a Euro. Like it would be like I played this game with my brother called what's it called? Some weird castle. Like the castles of Mad King Ludwig, and you like build this, or no, it's Castles of Burgundy, where you're like building a castle. And I'm almost wondering if you could do like the same thing. You're trying to assemble a cast, like you were saying right there, right?
And there could be even themes. It could be like maybe you're assembling the cast of a Shakespeare play, or you're getting a bunch of rock bands together for a rock fest or something like that. And there could be a lot of details, and like maybe do you know that game that we played on Steam where you like designing the blueprint for a house?
Yeah, but
it could be similar to that, where it's almost a more casual game, so it's not like you're not hunched over directly competing. You're all just designing your own or planning your own event. Where maybe and you want to see who has the best show at the end, and maybe one person is gonna make an opera, one person's gonna do, like I said, rock and roll show, somebody's gonna have a little jazz club thing going on, so it's so it'd be maybe more like a casual vibe where you're all trying to make the best show. I don't know if that would be a possibility, or maybe competitive would be the way to go for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm almost like not super in love with the idea of making a board game, because it's like I feel like especially like our history of board games is a lot like more fraught like with stuff than, because it's like I feel like board games they're the easiest thing to make, because anything can be a board game, right? Anything can be a good board game. So it's like it's not like it's like with war games or tabletop RPGs, you can shoot them down pretty quick, like bad ideas. And like to some like good extent, right? Like I feel like we get drawn in because like every little thing is like, oh, that sounds like a great board game, and then you actually have to like make all the mechanics, and it's like, fuck this. Like it's so much,
Wait, so are you saying so we kill this idea, which is fine? Do you want to go back to the dating profile idea, or do you want to keep pushing until we get a tabletop role playing game?
It doesn't have to be a tabletop role playing game.
We can make or a war game or either.
Yeah. Maybe another way we could go about this. I kind of like what we're doing here, so we can like save this, or I guess we can delete it because it's now preserved in video. But
delete it.
I almost wonder if it'd be better to like, rather than trying to like, because this is going to be a sort of a time commitment. Maybe it'd be better, instead of trying to just like shoot out random ideas and find something that sounds good, it would be to like actually think about a theme that like we would both be compelled to spend time working on. Yeah. And we're not spending significant time on this because I think the intent is that this might take like a very long time.
Yeah.
But
let's
I think
brainstorm, and I like doing it live on the show. I mean, we're discovering the format of this show as we go. Audience.
Yeah.
But I think we should do let's brainstorm live, and if we're doing the whole process, we might as well do the whole process. So here, I'm going to leave all this in. I'm just going down to the next area. So we have all this, and like, even if we don't do it on the podcast or the show or, ever do it, this is a good idea. This is
actually a very good idea. And I would be very surprised if that hasn't been done, honestly.
It should be. So, we got that little brain nugget stored away, but okay.
Yeah.
So what are things that interest you in a tabletop role-playing game that isn't fully satisfied already?
Well, I mean, I almost was wondering, like, so, like, I mean, we, like, this is, like, I feel like we have to, like, discuss some background here.
Let's do it.
So, like, I feel like George, my co-host George has a good history of he's much more compelled by tabletop wargaming. I'm much more compelled by tabletop role playing. So it's like we each kind of are like, to put some context to kind of our different creative drives.
You're so nice to the audience.
Yeah, rather than just kind of spewing a bunch of like inside stuff.
They'll catch up. Yeah.
But like I feel like I'm not necessarily opposed to doing a war game. I just don't think I want to do like another like, and maybe this would be good, is like to maybe start a list of things that we don't want to do or something.
Okay,
Things that I flat out wouldn't want. Like I flat out do not want to do another generic like
the no-go zone.
Yeah, like I don't want to do anything like
want to pursue.
Like I mean, I guess like bolt action-y, bolt action, like bolt Warhammer
action.
I wouldn't necessarily hate the idea of doing something more similar to Broadsides, like we did before.
Like your basic bitch war games.
Yeah, your rank and file stuff, basically. Yeah, it's got to be more creative than those. It doesn't have to be like complicated, but because it's kind of done to
large
death.
Army, that kind of thing. Large army.
Yeah.
Your bread and butter in the wargaming community. We don't want to do that. Okay.
Right.
Okay. I agree. Because
do you want to do one now that you don't want to do? It could be with tabletop RPGs. It could be with war games.
Okay. I'll say this. I don't want to do one where. I think there are some role-playing games that not that I know of or that I've ever played, I don't think, but I think there are some where it's only talking or a 99% of what you do is just talking, not... I think there should be some level of gritty mechanics in a game or dice rolling or something. There needs to be some level of that. Does that make sense?
Right. Like, wait, are you more into the players failing or just having, like, chance in the game?
Both. There should be
chance,
there should be players failing, but it shouldn't game that is just talking, role playing.
So it shouldn't be like sunshine and rainbows role play or like
artsy fartsy rainbows and all that stuff. There should be some meat and potatoes to this game too.
Right.
If you want to do this action, you must roll this number or have this many points. There should be some degree of that.
Okay. Another thing I don't want to do is I don't want this game to involve lots of tokens. Like I don't want to have, because I feel like that is like another like
I agree.
Another like bullet in the gun that shoots our creations down is when it's like, oh, and we have to make 80 event cards.
Well,
it's like,
I agree. Lots of tokens, event cards, unique pieces, all that. And I mean, also like quite literally, you and I are in different parts of the world, so for now, country at least. So we're not going to be able to be in person. So everything's going to have to be able to be played virtually, tested virtually. And I agree. If we tell ourselves that we have to make 150 event cards, guess what? We're not going to make 150 event cards. We're like, for the audience, we've made many games before. All of them have died within 3 weeks of working on them. So
that's not true. I think we have
a couple that survived past infancy, but most of them.
I still want to finish Builders and Breakers. That's like my before I die.
80 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I agree. That's a really important one too, just for realism, like of us actually being able to work on a project like this. If we tell ourselves, like we just said, we're not going to be able to make a bunch of unique stuff, so it needs to be replayable for sure. Is a big component of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to have some level of imagination, or I guess if it's a war game, just some level of like customization on their own.
Yep. Yeah. I agree.
Do you have? I feel like for me, that's pretty much all the stuff I'm like hard pass on. Everything else is kind of like I could, we can figure it out kind of when we're there. I don't know if you have anything else you wanted to add.
I think that's like totally. Yeah, I think we've covered all the things. And this probably even goes without saying. I don't want to. This is already in the negative, so I don't need to write down. Make a copy of something that exists. I don't want to make the next Dungeons and Dragons one as if we could. 2, that already exists, so we don't need to make that or anything that's resembling that.
I would agree. I think that's good.
Yeah, same with, if this, we don't need to recreate Battleship, right? That game exists. It's we don't need to make it. Yeah.
Right. Okay, cool. So that's enough negativity. Maybe we should start with some some positives. The go zone.
The go zone ideas we.
This is such a teacher head-in thing to do here,
the go
no go and the go.
All right. All right. Okay.
Right.
So, what are ideas that we might pursue? We're not sworn to these ideas, but
I actually like the idea of I almost feel like some sort of squatty tactical game, sort of marries like what Zach did with Targe. Who,
yeah.
For some context, Zach is a mutual friend of ours.
War game.
Yeah.
Or role playing game. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a possibility. Something like that where it's a small group, and that could be any setting. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, that's a really good one. Yeah, I'm kind of in agreement. I'll just piggyback, just as we were discussing this very briefly before we started recording this podcast, is almost like a hero-based system, which is really similar to what you just said. I'd be okay with that too, where it's maybe every time you play the game, it's the same heroes that we're playing with. I'm not sure, but I'm okay with the idea of larger than life or larger than reality figures duking it out.
Okay, here. I got a good one kind of coming off this thought train. What if it was kind of like broadsidesy? We could apply some of our broadsides was a turn-based tactical ship combat game, I guess would be the best way to describe it.
It's a naval
game
war
that naval war game that me and George worked on. But what if we kind of took the creation of the ship like that, and made it into almost a person? So it's you have a template, So then it's you get kind of some customization, but you also get the preset kind of.
Okay. Yeah. So in complete contrast, that maybe not total contrast, but it occurs to me that there's no role-playing games yet, or at least none that I know of, where you play as a pantheon of gods. Could you imagine if there was the Greek gods? If there was a role-playing game where you played as the Greek gods?
Yeah, that would be cool. I kind of like that. Well, there is. So the only thing that springs to my mind is, I guess God of War is a big one, but then also the. What was that third-person MOBA that came out?
Smite.
Smite. Yeah, Smite was kind of like that. But
I mean, a role-playing game, definitely not a war game.
Yeah, you play as gods,
or maybe even demigods or something. So there are things that are more powerful than you.
Well, so yeah.
What if you play, and this doesn't have to be Greek gods. I'm just going to use that as a template to explain my thinking here. But we could create our own fictional setting, which is fine.
Right.
What if the game was set and you were playing as gods in the Greek pantheon? You know how the Zeus defeated Kronos and the Titans were locked away and whatever.
Right.
You are gods who are you're role playing as gods in this world that was just recently conquered from the greater gods of the past. So even though you are the most powerful, good thing that exists now, there's still these ancient demons created by the Titans that exist. So you're more powerful than mortal humans, but there are still monsters that are more powerful than you, the gods.
Okay, I like that. I like the mutual. So there's sort of this overarching enemy. I also had an idea.
Mm-hmm. Wait, hold on. I'm just gonna record that really quick. Gods living in a Titan's world.
Right.
Humans, mid gods, strong monsters. Okay.
So what if it was in terms of gameplay, it was kind of Yeah, I don't think you've played it, but Gloomhaven has this thing where you sort of like make a character, and you can kind of come in and play. You save your character. You don't have to play in every session,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
it's kind of like a like. I'm trying to think of like a way this could be done where it's like a more casually, like almost like a board game.
It's similar to the West Marches in a way, where
Right.
if I'm following you correctly, where okay, so I have and we make up all fictional gods that it doesn't you know get anywhere annoying with religion in the real world. We can respect everyone's real world beliefs. This is a totally fictional world, and we could have it where I have my god named a fall,
Right.
and I can play on Saturday. Okay, great. We all play on Saturday, and then you guys want to play next Saturday. Oh, I'm busy then. Whatever. A fall will be doing his other stuff, and,
Right.
and maybe you can even set your. If other people are playing, you can set your god, your character, on like a predetermined quest, and then so you'll still get some XP so that you don't totally fall behind, and you can just say, oh yeah, my god was off doing this that week,
Oh,
giving fire to humans.
wait. Okay. I'm gonna blow your mind here. I think I've got. I've just my gears are turning right now. Okay, so here's what it's gonna be. Here's okay. I shouldn't say this is what's gonna be like. This is how it's gonna be.
Listen, kid. Here's what it's
Listen,
gonna be.
yeah. This is my idea now. What if it was like, okay, you make your god. Your god has like all this shit. Like it's like you build them out. The squad part is you play as your god's followers, and you send them on quests because you're the god. Like you're like you don't go on quests. You send your followers to go on quests, and that's what the squad based is. And like like in like a game like XCOM, like you go back to your like your home base, and there's like stuff you can do there.
Yeah.
That's when you play your god. So like your followers are like little bitch asses. They go and like rest and like have to recover from their mortal wounds. And that's when you play as and gods don't like fight, or maybe there's like some mechanic for them to fight, but like most of the god phase, it could be like the god phase and then the follower phase. And during the god phase is all when you do all your like godly like politicking, and it could almost be like a funny kind of thing, right? Because like usually gods are like they care less about the human world or whatever. But then there's also maybe that like overarching thing of like there's something more powerful than the gods themselves, that like plays in. And so it's like this war game, and then your god, as he upgrades, he can get like upgrades to make his followers better, and then like they get enhanced during it. And like your followers could also be like an angel, or like you can like get like other little things.
Yeah.
Like we come up with little templates for each like rank. Like you could have like your human followers, your elemental follower, your or whatever.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, no, and so you almost be collaborative. Oh my god, why can't I say that word? Collaboratively world building with the people you're playing with, because like here's how I'm imagining it is like, okay, I have my god of fall, and he's humans worship him, and they really like the color red, whatever. And you would design these features about your followers, and then you have a god named Swampy, and he is worshipped by these fish elementals or fish folks in the swamps.
Oh yeah.
So now we've established that in this world there's swamps with fish people that worship Swampy.
Right, and then like each god has like their mortal race, their like which you can pick. Like maybe like there's a couple presets, but you could also build one. Like they'd have they'd have like different tiers almost. Like they'd have like their mortal, their they're like some world creation, maybe like magical beast or elemental or like animated structure, and then they have their ethereal follower that's like their angels, and you like
Well, the only issue I'm seeing is all this is cool, but is the fact that we know that it's from our experience with like Microscope, at least my experience, and I know other games I think are similar. It's not that fun to play as somebody else's characters or minions or creations. You want to play as your own stuff. So how would it work where, I'm the god and I'm going to send my followers to go, assassinate this king, whatever.
Right.
And then do I play as my entire squad, or do the other players have to play as my squad for my mission, and then later I'll play as one of their squad for their mission?
So here's what I think that would be in my theater of my mind. Here's what I would say is is I feel like the I feel like they're like, okay, so like I feel like an important question kind of coming off of what I'm about to say is like, do we want a GM in this, right? Is like, if there is a GM, what I was feeling is the GM would have some sort of like missions, right? Or they would have some sort of like, I feel like there'd be missions for like there's mortal missions and there's godly missions.
Maybe there's mortal threats and godly missions.
Yeah, or something like yeah, exactly. And so like the gods have to make sure that like whatever these mortal threats don't overwhelm them. But I feel like it's a collaborative game where the gods, in this case it would be collaborative, where the gods would sort of be like, okay, we need to deal with this like mortal threat, which like a mortal threat I guess would be like a threat to everyone. Maybe there's like some way where it wouldn't be, but everyone would agree to send people on that mission, and then in that case you would each play as, and so I feel like part of this is like the squad based element is disposable. So like if you're playing like when you're playing as your squad, you're not really role playing too much. You might like be like, it's kind of like how I play Targe, right? Where like even less so though, right? Like you're just playing as like it's like the D&D Blue Book stuff we play, like our OG Temple of Chaos or whatever that one was called. Yeah. Remember we're like, Allie's character got pasted by a ogre like first session, like it's like that. Where like you just don't care as much about your mortal followers, especially at the start. And then your god is like who you actually role play as, and you're like, I'm going to give this guy personality.
Maybe it would just be impossible for you.
I don't think the god can even die, right? Like, and I think that's probably the fun.
They could just get weaker, but they would literally never die. Okay.
Yeah.
I think okay, bear with me here.
Yeah.
We have to maintain for my digression right now. We maintain that gods are living in a very dangerous world, even to them. There are threats that are bigger than the gods themselves.
Yes.
So we have to accept that, okay? Thing the second is that all these gods are in the same pantheon and that they are all friends together. Because just like in any role-playing game, bear with me here, but let me get it all out here. We maintain that the gods are all friends. Just like in a D&D game, you're all in the same party. You might have disagreements and squabbles, and you might still try and get one over on your friend, but you're all ultimately working for the same goals.
Right.
If humanity dies, nobody worships any of you, and you all lose.
Right.
And then the third is that there is a GM, I think. And maybe there doesn't have to be. Maybe there might not have to be here. But so my idea is, let's say in this session that we're playing today, there's a volcano that's going to erupt, and I'm going to keep using the Greek pantheon here. And there's going to be a volcano that's going to erupt outside Vesuvius, and we need to save this city because there's so many worshippers, and by that I mean just humans living there. The gods need to intervene. Right. So maybe Bob, the god, is going to stay, and he's actually not going to go into the fray. He's still role-playing live with us in time because everything's happening at the same time. But you could split the party in this way, where some people are going to stay role-playing in their god form.
Oh,
the rest of
like
you...
That.
So let's say I'm the god of lions. I might send a lion down to Earth to do something down there, and maybe that lion can communicate. Or somebody else is the god of... they might just... they could be a random person, and they could take over one of their worshippers' bodies even. So you can implant your god anywhere in the world that you want, or you can stay in god mode.
You make such a cool trait list for this. Like, a god could have the trait like I don't even know, like aspect or some sort of what's a good word for possession, where like they burn their own followers' bodies like apart to like manifest like on the mortal realm. Like you just like kill a person, but you can get like a super big like power spike for that session, but you're sacrificing one of your followers, and you have like a limited amount.
Well, and there might even like we did talk about how there might be we need to have some mechanics in the game. That could be part of the mechanics. Is that like, okay, if you're the god of the ocean and you want to summon a tidal wave to extinguish the volcano, sure. But a lot of stuff is gonna have to happen. You're gonna have to gain that power from somewhere to make that happen.
Well, and I think that's almost like would be an interesting sort of like division, and I think it would be consistent with kind of the philosophy behind the way gods and humans are divided. Is that humans operate, the human followers or whatever, the followers operate in a very rigid, tactical wargamey way, right?
You are in a pinpointable place in a location
Right.
to do actions. That's why you
Right.
are there.
And one also like just the way you roll, right? Like it's not like I feel like, you know, to compare it, it would be like humans are like the mortal followers are like, you know, D&D characters where they don't describe what they do, they kind of say what they do and then they roll. Gods can almost do like a, you know, a dungeon world thing where they describe what they're doing and then they roll to get it done.
Yeah,
and
the gods' actions are bigger and more creative. Like, I'm going to make a tidal wave happen. There's no mechanic for that in the game because no human could make that happen or any terrestrial creature. But a god could basically, you know, I'm going to explode every whale on the planet at the same time. A god could conceivably do that, and the GM would be there to facilitate that transaction.
Right, exactly. This is super cool. I think this is a great idea. Like,
so
this is like
it's part really supernatural and free flowy and creative, and it's part gritty squad, perhaps.
Right, yeah, and I think we're gonna have to sort of like narrow that down because like on one end of the spectrum you could have like Lovecraftian gods where like your mortal followers, like you're sort of evil or impassive and your followers are evil. Or the other side you could have like cartoonish like Percy Jackson, you know, even more like you know, even beyond Percy Jackson, like where it's like, you know, almost like silly and cute and funny, where like the gods are like kind of just causing mischief and like you know and like their followers are there to sort of, you know, they might die, but they're not like, you know, it's not like bloody.
Well,
so it's
I'm going to say this: Porque no los dos. You know, because you might play a D&D game where you have in the same party somebody who's just there to have fun and has a fun little, you know, druid or something, and somebody else is like the edgelord, you know, ranger. You know, I'm a dark and mysterious foe.
Right.
And this could be the same, where somebody's god is like this goofy, you know, like the Dionysus, the god of wine, and then somebody else is Hades, the god of the dead, in the same you know, pantheon or party.
But like you see how that's still like a like, I mean, honestly we could allow for everything, but like Hades is still like not as dark as like, you know, whatever, like a, you know, like a love, you know, a cosmic horror.
You are right. So there would be some balance to it. But
I feel like, well, and it's also like, I mean, we're kind of bounded in terms of, I think, what we can limit the gods in terms of what they do, because almost like the more you limit the gods, the more mortal they become, right? Like gods on both ends of that spectrum are super overpowered, right? Like, you know, cosmic horror gods that can just look at you and you just dissolve into your, you know, your mind just explodes basically because of its you know, its power is also kind of the same thing as like a super silly god who can just snap his fingers and turn you into a carrot, you know, or something. Like, you know, it's like both of those gods are super powerful. So it's almost good to maybe rein in those ends so we don't, you know, keep everyone on the same power level, but still allow for people to express themselves in a different way.
I agree. That's a good point. I would say this, and I'm going to go to, I think we're on page 3 here. I think, one, just for the pace of this episode, we should, you know, we're at the 43-minute mark, so we got about the last 15 minutes here to finalize our preliminary ideas and then get it written down so we don't really forget. And that'll be 1 hour. That'll be nice and clean. Okay, so just, and again, all of this is still subject to change. But I'm imagining, here's how I imagine it, that there's the immortal plane and the mortal plane, and never the twain shall cross. So the gods cannot interact with humans. They can send down corporeal versions of themselves, but a god cannot high-five a human or talk to a human.
Right. It's like
you can send down a satyr, you know, yourself.
Maybe you have like maybe you have like the wait. Do you want to make a table again?
Yeah, tables are good. Insert table. I'll just do a 2x2. That should be plenty. So I'm gonna do the immortal plane. Oops. And then
so we have the immortal plane, the mortal plane.
Oh, I was just gonna do it.
There. Yeah. Well, no, I almost think that like here. I was gonna.
You format it how you want, because you have an idea here.
Oop, that's not right.
I think this is a really solid idea. There's a lot of fun that could happen here.
So you have like angels, demons. Like this is the connection, right? Like, I don't know if like, so you could almost do immortal planes.
Well, okay, hold on.
Is God.
We're at a crossing zone here.
Humans, whatever. right?
Okay, I'm gonna make a separate table because I have an alternate.
Yeah.
Okay. Mortal plane, immortal plane. Oops. Okay. Okay. How do I? Okay. Not controlled by players. Controlled by players. Okay. So, when you are in the mortal plane, you could control angels, satyrs, animal. I'm just listing,
Right.
Spirits, ghosts. Right.
Sure.
I'm just listing ways that you, as the god, would be able to commune in the mortal plane. In the immortal plane, you play as your gods. Not controlled by the players would be humans, other animals.
Wait, but how do you do this?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Humans, other animals.
And this would be like the Titans or whatever, kind of. Or...
Yeah, Titans.
To pull up here, you want to pull up.
Monsters. I'm saying like.
Wouldn't monsters be in the mortal plane?
I'm saying that, and we can change this because again, all this. I'm saying that there are monsters that do threaten the god's existence.
Well, here you want to. I'll pull a page out of my These are things that threaten the gods.
Fate and chance.
Now, my favorite book, Time and the Gods, is in that book. The gods fear fate and chance because those are the two things in the entirety of existence. Fate and chance are what actually govern the world.
Oh, and that makes a lot of sense
because things are either fated to happen or they happen by chance, and that's it. There's nothing, and their servant is time. Their servant time makes things happen.
Cool.
So that could be another.
Okay,
if you wanted
I guess
to go
the Titans
more
fill the role of like.
Yeah.
An actual physical threat that might threaten the gods, I guess, would be these Titans, and that would be like maybe you'd never even see them, or like that would be an end of campaign event or something.
Right.
But yeah, these are the more regular ones because like, yeah, I'm gonna make a tidal wave happen. Okay, you got to roll, but I'm a god. Sucks. It's either gonna happen or not. That really sucks.
Yeah, that would tie perfectly into dice mechanics. You're right.
And maybe maybe the gods, maybe each player has a resource called fate. And you can just burn it instead of rolling. You can just spend a fate and say, no, this happens.
What if every player had fate and chance? And then they could make... And fate... Like, I like that you said fate makes something happen, but chance makes something re-roll. Or something like that. Like, they have both of them. Or so, like I was saying? Yeah. And then when they spend them, they increase the, like...
Oh my god, okay.
The end conditions.
Yeah. Okay.
I like you just deleted my idea. You're just like.
Was I wrong to do so? I thought.
So the only thing, like, maybe you could explain to me, but like, the only thing I don't like about this is I don't understand how, unless you're trying to say humans, like non NPC humans here.
Yeah, NPC humans. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that like this could also be heroes, right?
Yeah. Here, exactly. So like.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Like Achilles. Well, okay. And again, I'm putting this all in the context of Greek myth, but it probably won't be, I imagine. I'm imagining maybe somebody like Achilles would be a really powerful human NPC. Or
why would he be an NPC?
Because Achilles was just a human, but then somebody like Hercules, who is, if Disney taught me correctly, Hercules is literally a demigod. So Hercules would be a human controlled by players. Hercules would be in this category. Achilles would be in this category. Not that it doesn't really. This is a really like random conversation to have. But
I think this is just heroes, or this could also be chosen, right? Like you don't have to be born, because it's like Achilles could be one. He could just be a chosen hero. Yeah. Otherwise, we're getting into some weird like. Zeus the Ubermensch, like, like I don't think,
okay, that's fine. So, but it should be said, okay, anybody in the immortal plane, or anything in the immortal plane can hurt, damage, and interact with anything else in the immortal plane. Anything in the mortal plane can hurt, damage, interact, or kill something. So an NPC human could technically kill a hero. Like, it is possible for some farmer to stab your Hercules character, and your god would still be alive, but you're never going to see Hercules again. He's just dead.
Right, and well, that's what I was going to say is I think this would be like actions possible.
In the mortal plane or immortal
yeah,
plane?
like in mortal plane. Actions possible in mortal plane. This would be like this would be like, you know, AOM, like literally like god powers, right? You know, and like if you're in the mortal plane, it's like playing as your followers / interacting with.
Yeah. So, yeah, when you are an angel, or if you, let's say you manifest yourself as an angel. Yeah, that's how you would interact with your followers. That's how you would interact with the world. That's how you would stab somebody, right? Is you'd have to have some physical manifestation. When you're in god mode, because a god. Okay, let's say I'm going to make up a scenario that maybe the GM would throw at you.
Sure.
So the session for today is that there's this evil king who's causing a lot of trouble in the land. Okay, now a god could try and lightning bolt him, I guess. But we'd have to think of a reason why, because there has to be a reason why you would go into the planet, or why you would go into the world. And so maybe you could lightning bolt him, I guess. Or you would more likely you'd become an angel and have that angel try to change the king's ways or something. Or you'd come down as a ghost to haunt the king and drive him mad. Or you'd send a hero down and you'd go kill the king, with a spear. Right? Because a god, and that's why it's...
Wait, I don't understand what conflict you're having right now in your mind.
Well, because, why can't... I guess the god could just smite anybody at any time.
Well, I think the point is that in the gods who are in the mortal, quote unquote, in the mortal plane, are influencing their followers, watching over them. Maybe that could be argued why their followers are able to do the things they do in the world. Mm-hmm. Is because their god is he's temporarily not interacting with the immortal plane. He's watching over his followers in the mortal plane.
Yeah, and that's definitely part of it, is the god only has one place he can focus at a time.
Right. And so the gods in the immortal plane who stay in the immortal plane. So this is actually like a good for because when you play you sometimes give an example we're on with our friends at Discord, won't use any names, but we're gonna play we want to play this game, and you always have people that are like, hell yeah, I want to play it, and then so you have people who are like, yeah, sure, I'll play it, just be part of the group, right?
Yep.
You could be a god in the immortal plane if you just didn't want to pay as much attention, and if you're in the immortal plane, you can just it's kind of like it's like cosmic zapping, right? In cosmic encounters when you're not part of an encounter. Yeah. It's just you can step in for a moment and be like, excuse me for a moment, and then just do something, and you get something from it. Maybe there's some mechanic to get something from just participating, but it's not as significant. It also could be a way if you didn't want to lose any followers. Maybe you're running really low on followers, you just, because I think what would happen is every time you play, you get X number of followers, and you can divert those people to become
that's a
heroes,
great idea. Is that
or you can divert them
to in how many followers you have. That's a really good idea.
Followers are a resource, so you could have more followers diverted to become monks or praying people that just help you get more power, or you could divert them as a resource to become heroes. Yeah. Or you could divert them to get more people to join you.
So and you could also do the thing where you could play it this way too, where you leveled up, Hunter. Do you want to improve Hercules, or do you want to also now have Hercules and Achilles? You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. Oh,
so
yeah,
do you improve the followers you have, or do you make more followers? I was going to say something. Oh crap! I was going to say something right there. That was. Oh, what were we talking about just before that? Crap.
You had something that you were trying to figure out.
It was about being in the immortal plane. Oh, shoot. Oh, I can't believe I just forgot. It was actually somewhat important.
I'm gonna write some of this stuff out just so I don't remember.
I'll remember it here.
Like per followers on the.
Oh, okay, I remembered. I think we need to accept that the scale of what you can interact with has also changed, and I think here would answer the reason why couldn't my god just zap out the evil king at the start of the session. Here's why: is how like when you're playing, I guess you don't play that many management games, you can only zoom in so far, right? Like when you're playing Hearts of Iron, I can't zoom in and nuke Hitler.
I can see too broad, is what you're saying.
So what I'm saying is, okay, if I'm a god and okay, there's an evil king who lives in Athens right now, right? My options are, I can either lightning bolt or like tidal wave or earthquake the entire city to kill him, or I can send in myself in the mortal plane to go fix this. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, I see. Like,
so, like
you can.
There might be a time where it's like, okay, this city is, this region is so far gone, we have to save everybody else. We're gonna sink Atlantis to save the rest of the world.
Oh,
and then
gotcha.
that's when a big macro action would interact with the mortal plane.
Right.
The brush is too big to get any fine details, but you can do big things that a mortal could never do.
Okay, yeah.
And likewise, a mortal, no matter how powerful Hercules ever gets, he is never going to be able to sink Atlantis. Ever. It's just never going to happen.
Right, so maybe we should do, I have an idea. So maybe to help do this as well in a chart form is make another, do you want to make another 3-column chart and then have one column say gods and others say followers and start describing, like, you could do like what happens to each one per turn, like what,
is followers, I'll keep it consistent.
I think followers should be the catch-all.
Followers.
Maybe I'll say,
For now,
maybe not followers.
Totally fine.
Maybe we'll call them, what's a word, like servants. Maybe servants is better.
Servants, follower, yeah.
Well, because I think I'm gonna use followers as the resource that you can turn into, you can turn them into servants. No, George, not followers.
Wait, okay, so followers would be like, all of Athens worships me. I have thousands of followers.
Right.
But
followers is every
Hercules
is every Christian.
Servant.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the 3-headed lion is my servant. Right? It doesn't have to be a human. It does not have to be a speaking creature if you don't want it to be.
Right. Or I'm going to commit some Catholic heresy, but like if all the followers on Earth or all the humans on Earth, all the Catholic humans on Earth, or sorry, the Christian humans on Earth are the followers of the Abrahamic God.
Right.
At least the Abrahamic God of Christianity.
Right.
Then his servant could be like the Holy Spirit.
Or literally Jesus. If we were to mechanize Christianity.
Perfect.
Again, this is all going to be a fictional game. We're not trying to impose on any religion, practice now or not. But to put that in, you're right. Jesus would be the servant.
This is because we all me and George grew up in the Midwest, so our metric is basically only like different sects of Christianity
or ancient Greek gods.
Right, that's like because our AOM game.
Yeah, really. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so you can turn... Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Oh, my God. Okay, so... Okay, we're going to do, like... Scope of action would be... personal... I'll say in-person, even though maybe that's a little bit repetitive. In-person actions, you could do... I'm
gonna add a bunch of these because I can already think of
small scale, right? Like I don't know. Am I missing something here? Do you see what I'm trying to phrase?
Personal, yeah. Well, it's almost impersonal, right? Because it's like it's impersonal, expendable, right?
Well, no. I'm talking about the scope of their action, not their value. But
gotcha.
You know what I mean? Maybe in person's probably good enough.
In-person, small scale.
Small scale.
Scope, yeah. Well, like maybe mission would be a bit mission-based, right?
Yeah, mission.
Mission quest would be probably more.
Quest. Yeah, no. Yeah, let's just use that word. I don't even want mission. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Golden Fleece. Apollo's not going to go get his own golden fleece, right? If that was
Right,
I don't know
right.
if that was Apollo, but yeah. So he sends Hercules to go.
This is such a good idea. This is like I'm feeling
getting
really
hyped.
good with this. Yeah, I'm
Meanwhile,
getting
the
hyped.
god's scope of action would be like continental, regional,
Right.
Oceanic. What else am I?
Well, I mean, to maybe
Geographical. That's actually maybe the better
Yeah.
catch-all word. It's geographic scale versus personal scale.
okay. So my only problem with these words is that it's in terms of gameplay, this is almost personal, backstabbing, like role play, right?
Yeah,
like this
exactly.
is what the game like. So I'm saying that like.
Yeah, you're right.
Like we already know gods are continental region. Like it's like
Yeah.
I don't know if, but yeah, I don't know if. I guess I'm not clear on what this is supposed to mean. But
This is to help mainly to help us remember next time too that the servants are doing stuff
right.
on the mortal plane, and the gods are doing this larger scale.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and then yeah, you're right.
It is
Personal,
kind of funny
backstabbing,
because
role
they're
play.
complete opposites in terms of how the gameplay, right? Because this is
Yeah.
tactical, squad based, like lethal.
Yeah, lethal.
Uh,
And this, I think you'd be rolling more dice. Expendable. Yeah,
Expendable.
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh. Immortal.
Maybe.
Well, nearly.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I
Like
guess
yeah,
a
it's not
Titan
dangerous
could
at all.
appear, or the GM could manifest some way to make the gods not immortal.
Right. Okay. What's another thing that's like useful here? This would be like okay, so the servants and the god gameplay.
I'm gonna put one on the bottom, and this is again more just for us right now, so that we can remember.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put real life analogs, and so here would be like Hercules, Medusa.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Angels.
Angels.
Honestly, Angel. Jesus. And again, that's not entirely accurate in the.
I think this could also be demons, just to remind that we don't have to like. It doesn't have to be.
You can totally. Yeah, Cyclops. I'm actually just gonna take it. Jesus. It's easier just to keep it all in one.
Right.
Pantheon. Hercules, Medusa, angels, demons, like Cyclops. Demigod.
Is Cyclops a good one? I feel like Cyclops is more of a monster, but maybe.
But couldn't
yeah.
you manifest?
You could, yeah.
Yeah.
You play as the hero Cyclops Gargarensis.
And
so this would be like
Zeus,
Zeus, yeah.
Zeus and the Hades.
Hades, Thor, Osiris, like every god that's ever existed.
Yeah.
basically.
So we just
literally every god.
Wow, lowercase g there.
Yeah. Whoa there.
Yeah, Zeus, Hades, Thor, Osiris, literally every god. Yeah.
So I was thinking this would be like. I wonder if upgrades for servants would be like I know I feel like there's got to be like more power, like abilities, magic or spells, strength, all the stats.
Yeah.
Oh wait, maybe all the physical stats.
Yeah.
Because
I
gods
honestly
wouldn't really
don't-
have physical stats.
I
right?
don't think anybody that you play as would have mental stats. Would
No, I
they?
think the gods do.
No, the gods do, but like,
Oh, this is gonna be so much fun because it's like for the gods, like we don't even have to care about physical stuff. Like gods don't have physical like they don't have any kind of physical
Well-
power. They just have different manifestations of like mental or like like there's no like raw like there's no like strength attribute for a god. That's just stupid.
yeah, there's
It
no
doesn't make
muscle
any
power,
sense.
but there would be some way, because like, and maybe we can change this. I still have the idea in my head where like, gods can, a god could punch another god, or the Titans could come kill the gods.
The strong like the god, the reason the god punch another god punches harder is because he's the god of strength, not because he has like +5 strength or something.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like that's almost what I feel like it should be.
Okay, I can get with that.
Because it's like gods don't have like how we would consider like a numerical, like that's almost another thing, right? Is like this is
Oh, I'm just
This
gonna
is
write this here.
numerical.
Traits and traits and stats. This is where I'm gonna write strength. You know, and we do not have to keep these ones. I'm just writing these ones down right now.
It's like when Zeus romances like another god. It's not like someone asks like, "Oh, is that because Zeus has like +5 charisma?" It's like no, because he's the fucking god of being like a like a fucking cheating bastard. You know, it's like
I put this here, and we are not going to keep these. I know.
Right, that is a good way to like.
But D&D has some of the best. Like, just stats out there, like for generic thinking of them all, it kind of covers all the bases pretty well. Much as I hate to
purely as reference. So we don't like, but what else? Okay, so
there might be
magical
more overlap than we're thinking.
Weapons. Yeah. What else? Magical weapons.
Oh, that's so cool, dude. That's so cool to think about. That like, okay, so like. You send, Hercules or Achilles to go on some mission, and he accomplishes the thing, and he finds this magical spear. So now, you're still the same god, but your Hercules now has this mythical magic spear, or whatever. Oh. Like, that's cool. Like, you are building literally, your own myths as it goes on.
What if there's, like, I love the idea of, like, what if there was, like, let me just, like something like linked things, like, like god upgrades. This might not need its own line, but just remember god upgrades that affect all mortals. Like, if you gain lightning aspect, now all followers, like, can, like, do +1 d6 like lightning damage, something like this. Like,
it would be,
what I mean? And then like
in Percy Jackson, I believe that I'm recalling correctly that his sword can do like lightning or some damage, or no, that's not what it is. Whatever. Like, I can see what you mean. We're like, oh, my god is the god of flame, so I have a flaming sword, whatever.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And then I was thinking, like this could be like getting a magical crown that protects you from, like, arrows or, like, something.
Yeah.
But also, God now, like, has benefit, too, from it or something.
It's almost like factional upgrades versus unit upgrades.
Yeah, and it's like, and so there's, like, a reason to keep your followers alive. Might be that they, like, but it's like so cool because like you could also have like you have all the normal D&D stuff with your characters. You could have like characters that could become cursed, characters that could become like blessed by another god. Like, what if it's like your follower can leave, like you could have a thing.
You can
where, like,
trade followers with like,
like
so you and I are playing different gods, and it's like, man, I really need a fighter, and you really needed some powerful wolf creature. So we like trade like, oh my god.
Oh my god, that would be so much fun.
And you can even do that as a god action. We're like, man, Hunter, I really like this Achilles guy you have. I'm going to use a lot of my power to steal him from you. Are you going to really waste all your power to get him back, or are you going to be happy with what you already have?
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, like waste, like the followers are kind of. I mean, you have to be careful because you don't want people to be dicks to each other, like too much.
No, and you're dude, what the fuck? I spent years making him. Yeah.
I like. Okay, so I'm gonna ways to spend. Sessionly resource, which would be your followers, and I was thinking like this could be like so this would be like increase prayer production or something like that. Like,
this is literally Age of Mythology.
No, it literally is. Yeah. And you could have cool things where it's like you could get more prayer because you fight or something.
Well, here I want to change. Well, we can leave that wording, I suppose. But I
was thinking here,
influence followers would be a way that you can spend it. So you can get all your followers to do or believe something, possibly.
Oh wait, what if? Oh my God, what if it's like some god? You could gain an ability where like you could kill one of your powerful followers to create like because I feel like there's tiers of followers, right? There's
like tiers.
Like you could like there's probably ways to create them without killing them, but like, what if there was a way to like create like you're the god of necromancy, so you got like the more powerful of a follower that you kill or sacrifice, you can create like a more powerful ghost follower to like have a different subtype, or you could like sacrifice a follower to like summon a demon of your own. You know, like you can spend your
Yes, I'm gonna revert down here. I'm at the very bottom here below this table and everything. There are types of servants. Okay, there are human servants, and these are your jack of all trades, because they can do everything. They can interact politically. They can, if need be, with they can entreat and diplomat. They can also kill stuff, right? Then there's like spirits and ghosts who they can only basically, they can't kill anybody. They can only entreat and politic on Earth. And then there's monsters who can only fight.
Oh, interesting. I like that. Like, wait, can we think of like, well, no, I mean,
and again, this is temporary.
The point of this too, it's like, it's hard because like we shouldn't have really politicking as like a way, like, remember, that's not really gonna happen. Like, I mean, there might be like basal interactions, right, with like things like, but like I feel like we don't want this to become, we don't want the mortal followers, we want them to be like very like recyclable, right?
Let me alter this. Okay, something like monsters are the best at doing one, and we won't settle this today, because this would be a whole big conversation to have later. The best at another kind of fighting. Jack of all trades kind of deal. Does that make sense?
Yeah, here I have an even better idea. What if it's like this, like it's like we make like a rock paper scissorsy kind of deal. So it's like, this would be like, here we'll say this is normal damage.
Sure, yeah.
/ jack of all trades damage. This would be like, this would be like your special weapon, kind of like
a lightning spirit or something like that.
Right. Like it's good at doing one kind of thing. It's like, or it's also like you could use it to like, it's very utility focused. It could be used to like just distract other things and like scare. If you're fighting other mortals, you could scare them.
Yeah,
and then we call them monstrous servants would be like raw damage or raw tanking or something like that.
Yeah.
I almost think you could have like a...
Yeah, no, so it's like type, but I also think they would evolve differently. So, because I'm thinking, let's say you can have up to a level 5 servant, okay? Where like, once a human achieves level 5, they become a god. Once a spirit achieves level 5, they become something. Once a monster achieves level 5, they become something that you can no longer control, in any case. You know what I mean?
I was thinking like,
at a certain point, do I want to keep sending Hercules? Because eventually, Hercules is just going to be a god.
Right, because they accumulate enough followers. Oh, that's so cool. I almost think like...
Why did you deny me? Because you are too powerful,
Right, maybe like temporary, because they are nearly gods themselves.
Or are you saying
I love that.
Like, you can like super go and like, I am Zeus incarnate, but it's like... maybe it's also risky because...
Wait, no, they're nearly gods themselves / you are possessing them and they will die from the experience.
Okay.
So it's like there's two ways to get them there. It's like you can get them there, and the reason you would want to even do this maybe was because when they become a god, they like start out like with a high social rank with you, because you literally got them to the godhood, right? Like you got them there by like helping them.
What's this avatar thing? I don't understand what this is.
So, So it's just like an avatar servant would be like an avatar of a god is like, you know, like
I know an
like
avatar.
mortal.
Like,
Right. So like it's like the Last Airbender, your favorite show.
not that.
No, but like, you know, so I'm saying like an avatar is like this person is a representation of you on Earth, either because they have had this huge history of like being your follower, you know, you've granted them so much power, which is what this is, right? They are nearly gods themselves, or it's because you have just like plucked a servant who is powerful, but not like he doesn't have a huge following, and you're like, I'm gonna possess your ass. You're gonna die from this experience, but you will get to like channel my power, and then and that's like a, you know, that would obviously cost a lot of power and like do a lot of stuff, but it would be kind of this epic moment where like if the fight was turning, you could be like, you know, sorry Joe Schmo, you're the last one who can, you know, who can like,
yeah, we're gonna lose this fight. We need like one more dude on our side. Oh, I got this.
Right. And so I think there should be a multitude of like god abilities you can pick up that allow you to sacrifice servants, either to do stuff like that, or maybe you can sacrifice him to like, you can just explode him like a grenade or something, like if you're really like a fucked up god or something.
Yeah. No, this is good. Okay, I think we should. This is kind of like the just one more turn kind of thing, where like we can keep on going with ideas here. Well, I think we should stop ourselves. It's been an hour 15, which is a solid first episode.
Right.
And who knows when we're going to do this again? Who knows when I'm going to upload this? Probably today, but who knows? But no, this has been good.
Yeah, damn, that was fucking This
is the most promising start I've ever felt that we've had for a game.
Oh yeah, well, I love how it feels like it's a good marriage of our sides, like the two different things where it's like, you know, we're gonna have some good role play in here, and we're gonna have like some good like interesting tactical stuff. We're gonna have a lot of abilities to customize and stuff. I'm actually really I think I agree. I think this is one of the best feeling like ones we've had. I mean, especially over Discord. Like, I mean, in person when we were drunk, we might even more excited.
We'll have to release like the drunk episode or something, where we do this while drunk.
Oh my god, yeah, that would be great. All right, awesome.
So this is episode 1. We're not going to title these. We're just going to call it episode 1. Do we have a name that we're going to call this show? Because I'll upload this video to YouTube. Do we have a name that we want to call this?
Jesus.
Game like George and Hunter create a game.
I feel like it should be like something to do with like the fact that like we had literally no idea coming in here, so we could call it like blank whiteboard RPG or something, or blank whiteboard game. Or like, you know, like something that's like represents it, like the idea that like this is literally
live on the spot RPG creation.
Well, you know what we could do is so there's this like RPG thing where it's called saying actual play is like when you actually show the game being played. So I'm almost wondering if it would be like actual design or something.
Yeah. actual design. George and Hunter making.
Oh, that would actually be really good. Actual design, because that would also encompass if we wanted to do like anything else later.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to set a rule for us, Hunter, and this is going to be hard knowing you and me. Neither of us are allowed to edit this document until we meet again officially while the camera's recording. You and I, we cannot talk about this with each other.
Oh my god, that's going to be hard.
We're not allowed to. We have to wait, and this will also help segment it, I think, so we're not like inundated for 2 weeks and then we forget about it. And then we like are, you know, oversaturated with it. We're not allowed to talk about it. I mean, we can reference that it exists, but we're not allowed to like go into anything. We got to save it for the next time we meet, whenever that is. Do you agree?
I would agree. I think that we should also try. We'll figure out the scheduling after like this. We conclude this, but I feel like we should try and do a balance of like accounting for the fact that like we should take advantage of when we're in a creative mood, but at the same time we shouldn't. We should have some structure in that, so you either don't get burned out by doing it too much, or don't do it too little and just lose interest.
I think once a week would be a good benchmark.
Yeah, once a week feels good to me too, but like, and we'll also have to time that pretty like, you know, because like I guess if we're really dedicated, once a week, like a solid hour would be good. I guess it could be longer than an hour.
And it could also be more than once a week, because like literally today, you and I just sat down and we're like, I have an hour, let's do it.
Right? Yeah. That's kind of what I was saying. Right? Is have maybe like, you know, like try and stick to like, you know, let's at least do like once a week, but let's not do more than like 3 times a week, or you know, something rough like that or something.
Yep, I'm in agreement there. Okay.
Cool. All right. Well,
what do
thanks
we-
everyone
yep.
for who watched this like total like
Honestly,
thrown together.
If you watch this whole episode, that's amazing and good job.
Yeah, they just watched it to steal our idea.
Oh,
and then
we're
we're
so,
gonna.
do you ever watch YouTube and they tell the watcher to like comment something? Should we have people comment something below?
No, I think that should be our shtick. We tell them to go fuck themselves.
Go fuck yourself. Don't
Go
like,
fuck yourself.
Don't, comment,
Don't like.
Don't subscribe.
You know what? Let's see. I want to see how many dislikes we can get. Let's.
No, don't do that because then the YouTube algorithm won't.
Oh shit, you're right. Yeah. Be as neutral as you can.
Just be neutral. Just be
Neutral.
neutral, okay?
Yeah.
That's just good life advice too.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.